This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Phatts TV on this Tuesday night, April the 13th. Had to look that up. 2021. Another beautiful day in our part of the country. Joining me, as usual, in the upper left-hand portion of the screen, as long as his internet holds out because he says it's laggy. From his underground bunker, that's probably why it's laggy, because he's underground, deep, half a mile down or so.
As you just heard a fire truck go past.
I actually did not.
Oh, I did.
That is the non-genetically proven Sun.
Wait, I'm a half mile deep, but you can see the sun in the background.
No, that's a light.
That's a light?
It's a light.
Okay.
It's a light.
Okay.
Either that or it's the reflected, like you have it going down like a hole.
Oh, going down half.
Yeah. So, how are things up in beautiful Center County, Pennsylvania? Is there leaves on any trees yet up there?
The trees are blooming.
Okay. You got leaves.
Actually pretty nice up here, except for yesterday. Went out for disc golf league at 5 o'clock. Wasn't raining. By 5:45, it was pouring. I played the rest of the round.
And it was chilly.
It wasn't that cold. My coat's probably still wet, though, that I was wearing.
You know, they make dryers for that.
I gotta pay for that. I gotta pay for the dryer up here.
So, we don't have all that much to talk about tonight. I do want to talk about a statement that the NCAA released today, or yesterday, I believe it was, about transgender athletes. It just says the NCAA Board of Governors firmly and unequivocally supports the opportunity for transgender student athletes to compete in college sports. This commitment is grounded in our values of inclusion and fair competition. The NCAA has a long-standing policy that provides a more inclusive path for transgender participation in college sports. Blah, 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 blah. When determining where championships are held, NCAA policy directs that only locations where hosts can commit to providing an environment that is safe, healthy, and free of discrimination should be selected. We will continue to closely monitor these situations to determine whether NCAA championships can be conducted in ways that are welcoming and respectful of all participants. So, basically, my opinion, I don't know how you guys feel. Our, message board is live and operational should you wish to chime in. Basically, the NCAA is giving the big finger at women. Let's just face it. 98% of the time, men are better athletes than women. It's just the way it is. Our bodies are structured differently than women's are.
I was just about to say, wait, now, what single sports do we have in college?
A lot.
For women. What singles events? Besides track.
Okay.
What tennis?
Tennis, golf.
Bowling.
So
when is a guy... What's the first guy that's going
wrestling.
to win? There's girls wrestling?
Yes, I believe there is. Gymnastics. Although girls would be better at that.
See, I think you have to bring up an argument where if there's a guy counterpart, you have to compete in the guy. If you were born as a male, you have to compete male.
Right, but
I don't care if you're transgender.
well, that's not what's going on here.
Because it's a little different argument when there's no male version of a sport.
Right.
But if they're like wrestling, if you're a male, you're not going to ever lose to a female of your weight. Just not going to happen.
At that age.
At that age.
You go back, down to midgets, sure, it happens. We're talking 8, 9, 10-year-olds. It happens actually a lot. It does. Yeah. It just does. But why does it have to be just single sports? Why can't a bunch of transgender people form a basketball team?
True.
Do you think if a bunch of transgender, let's just say, let's pick a good college basketball team. So let's pick Duke. People that don't make the team, let's just say, oh, we feel like we're women now. We're going to create an all-transgender women's team.
They're going to walk to the national title?
Yeah. Do you see the problem here?
You ain't going to be able to block a 6'11" dude,
yes.
Basically.
Yes. I mean, I understand it's a sticky situation, but, we have to protect women's sports here. Now, I know it's sexist to say this, but it's completely opposite if it's the other way around. If a woman or a group of women want to compete in men's sports, that's okay. I know it's sexist, blah, 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 blah. But again, it's the athleticism of men versus women. It's just the way that it is. So, NCAA, if you want all of a sudden all these women teams to win national championships that have a bunch of men on them, what's going to happen when all of a sudden women aren't getting scholarships? Because you're giving scholarships to transgender athletes to play on women's teams. How's that going to work? You don't think there's going to be lawsuits? There is. Right? Don't you think so? That's a question to you.
Probably. I'm shaking my head.
Well, I'm not looking down. I'm trying to look at the camera.
Yes. Yeah, probably.
So, unless if they start coming up with a third category, I don't know what else to do. But you can't have people that were born with male genitalia all of a sudden saying, I feel like a woman. We're going to sing a little Shania Twain. Man, I feel like a woman. That just doesn't work. Neither does my singing. It just doesn't work. I know, it's a sticky situation. Sticky. Yes. But it's the way it is. God created men to be men and women to be women anyway. You know that guy up there? I don't know how you guys feel. I never get comments on the message board again anymore. It's a shame. I wish
probably
we did.
Sexist that you just call God a man.
True.
I'm sure that offends somebody out there.
True. Speaking of offenses, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, has ruled racism to be an epidemic or something like that. Like a public epidemic or a health epidemic. I think that's what it was.
What? Do I catch racism now?
Yes.
Or do I get sick of racism?
Racism is a public epidemic. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I was like, what? I saw this last night perusing my Twitter account, which is still suspended, so I have to use my backup Twitter account. Yeah. Let's see if I can find it quick. Blah, 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 blah. CDC. There's Fauci, the dickwad.
What a guy. Double masks.
CDC declares racism a serious health threat. Serious health threat.
Interesting.
Wouldn't it have been more of a serious health threat? Oh, I don't know. 160 years ago? Maybe the CDC wasn't around 160 years ago. Probably not. I don't know.
According to health, I'm still not required to get the vaccine.
No. In Pennsylvania, or something, yes, starting yesterday in Pennsylvania now, all adults over the age of 18 can get it.
I'm allowed to get it now.
Yes.
I think I was able to get it, honestly, 3 months ago if I really wanted to.
Yes.
I'm still not going to get it unless I'm required to, or basically forced to.
Hey, Kill.
Yes. I'm not getting it as well. There was some news over the weekend that the CDC, or that certain states, one of them being Georgia, was pulling the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because of...
I just heard about this.
Because
like,
of
literally 10 minutes ago.
A decent amount of negative, reactions to it. And at that time, the CDC says, we don't agree, blah, 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 blah. And now they're putting a halt to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So...
I read about people getting blood clots.
Yes. Amongst other things, somebody that I know posted something on their social media page yesterday. This person works for a company that is involved with the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration.
Mm-hmm.
And they posted in the FAQ section of the Pfizer vaccine. The question was, what is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? And the answer was, this is on Pfizer's webpage. The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an unapproved vaccine that may prevent COVID-19. There is no FDA-approved vaccine to prevent COVID-19. Why, oh why, if you are a healthy individual, do you want to stick yourself with an unapproved vaccine? We're not talking about stuff that's been around for a few decades now. We're not talking about polio here, or the mumps, or even the flu vaccine. Obviously, there's a new vaccine every year for the flu, but all that stuff has gone through years of testing. Right there, I just read to you what's on Pfizer's website about the vaccine. It's not approved. There's a report out last week out of Chicago that said you may, even after you get your second jab of the Pfizer one, have to get booster shots every 6 months.
Yeah, someone asked me a few days ago, would I rather get the virus or get the vaccine? I said I'd rather get the virus.
Well, yeah, at your age, sure.
I saw someone post, you know who it is, but no names mentioned, about how people only go on deaths. Like, but apparently they were saying, like, what about all the after effects, maybe 10 years down the road of having the virus? I'm like, I almost commented, what about that commercial that you hear? Like, you could be entitled to compensation for getting the COVID-19 vaccine in 20 years.
Yes.
I'm waiting. In 20 years, if I hear that commercial, and I never got the vaccine because I'm, intelligent and understand that I'm not just going to listen to what people tell me.
Yes.
I'm a laugh.
Although I hate to tell you, you're going to need to get the vaccine.
I don't know if you could be forced to get the vaccine, though.
You can't, but you better have a good reason why not.
This brings up the same thing about masks. I walked into Walmart 2 days ago without one.
Yeah.
The guy said, "Can you please put one on?" I literally just straight up looked at him and said, "No," and walked away.
Was it an employee or somebody who...
The person who sits at the door, who counts who goes in and out. I mean, it says it on Walmart's website that they recommend a mask. They do not force it.
Yeah.
They can't. Nobody could legally force it. Now, if it's a small business and they want you to, yeah, they could just kick you out. Like, if you want to kick me out, then kick me out. I'll just go somewhere else. Like, I don't need to spend my money here.
Yeah.
So I just kind of don't really care anymore. I mean, on campus, I'm not trying to get kicked out of school. And I mostly follow their rules on campus. I don't want to get kicked out of school because I'm sure it's possible.
Oh, hell yeah. Anything's possible.
So
for those of you that forgot, we are down to the final 4 in the sitcom bracket.
Yay! Chalk!
Chalk. Down to the final 4. So, you have until Thursday at 6 p.m. to vote. Looking at how many votes we have so far in this round, not many.
I have not shared it yet.
Not many. So let's get voting, people. I will post it again throughout my various social media pages, and so will the non-genetically proven son. Let's talk about our awesome President Biden.
He made it up the stairs successfully.
I was going to show that video. That's the video I wanted to show. Thank you for stealing my thunder.
In other news, he made it up the stairs.
So, this is on Facebook. Now you gotta pay attention. Somebody is really smart. The people that think of this stuff, now that's from a sporting event.
Yeah, that's a long one ago.
Yeah.
I've seen that used on many different ideas, but that one's funny.
I believe it was a soccer match, if I remember correctly. Like
that
the
would
actual
make sense based off of that kind of reaction, like so quickly like that.
Yes. Yeah. So, congratulations to our president for making it up the stairs. Congratulations.
He didn't get blown over by the wind.
No. I want to show one other thing, and I have to bring up my personal Facebook page to show this. This got me riled up when I saw this. So I had to share it. What?
A lot of things get you riled up.
It doesn't take me a lot to get riled up. So, as you can see, this picture is clouded out right now.
It's sensitive. Sensitive content.
Because according to Facebook, this is sensitive content. This photo may show violent or graphic content. Listen to me, content. Take 2. Graphic content. Now I'm going to show you this picture, and I want you to tell me if you think this is graphic content. All right? You tell me if you think this is graphic content. A mom teaching her son how to shoot a gun. I don't see in this picture that a mom is teaching her son how to shoot a gun at a person.
No, probably a target.
Probably
Maybe
a target. Probably a target. It wouldn't be a tree. Maybe it could be a target on a tree. It's probably, a target, a clay target or a glass bottle. When I was young, we used to shoot glass bottles for target practice. Yes, I used to shoot a gun. And I turned out okay. For the most part. What am I doing this when no one can see me?
I don't know.
So a mom teaching her son, at least the child has ear protection on too.
Yeah.
Sensitive content. You guys think that's sensitive content? Do you?
No.
Bueller?
I've seen a lot worse on Facebook.
Sensitive contents. Yeah. So this past weekend was a great weekend in sports. We had a lot of good things on. In your non-major sporting events. We had the Masters.
Hideki!
The winner gets to pick the menu. I was wondering did he have sushi on the menu.
There was a picture of him that ended up going around of him at the airport, waiting to go to Chicago, and his green jacket just sitting there on the chair.
Yes. So congratulations to Hideki, right? That is how you say his name, right?
Hideki Matsuyama.
For winning the Masters. He took the lead in round 3, and I don't believe he gave it up at all in round 4.
He shot an even round, but he had a 4-shot lead, and that's substantial at the Masters.
Yes. Yes. There was another championship event on Sunday in the sport of bowling, the U.S. Open. Why am I bringing up the U.S. Open? Well, let me tell you why I'm bringing up the U.S. Open. You've heard me rag time and time again how much I do not like watching men's professional bowling.
Anymore.
Senior men are fine. I like watching the women because they're shot makers. But for those of you that don't know, the other YouTube channel that I run is the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour, PJBT. Feel free to look it up on YouTube. We have a tournament several weeks out of the year on Saturdays or Sundays, mostly Sundays. I think we have 28 regular season ones scheduled this year before the COVID break that we had to take, and a bunch of postseason ones and some girls only. But that's going to be fun the first time a transgender shows up at one of those tournaments.
Say no. Go away.
That's going to be interesting. Probably should talk to somebody about that.
Probably.
Probably. Somebody in the legal profession about that. But one of our PJBT bowlers made it to the stepladder finals of the U.S. Open. At the age of 18. Almost 19. He turns 19 either this week or next week. It's not you. You're not 18. You're 21.
I bowled doubles with him.
You did bowl doubles with him.
We didn't win, though.
You didn't win, but you did bowl doubles with him. Not at a professional tournament. So this bowler, and we'll certainly say his name. I'm sure I would have permission to say his name. He's won several PJBT. Actually, I could look it up while we're talking. He's won several PJBT tournaments in the past. The most prestigious junior tournament of the year, Junior Gold, he's won it twice. Once
U12 and U20.
Once in the U12 division and once in the U20 division. He won the U20 division when he was 16. That's not bad. Oh, he's got 11 titles.
And he made the show in the U15 division. He got second.
Right. So he's got 2 firsts and a second.
Because the guy shot for 2 games like 560.
Well, he shot 299 or 300.
Yeah, 299 and then 250 the other game or something like 240. It was like, okay.
So he's got 11 PJBT titles according to the all-time. It says here you have 12. Do you have 12 or do you have 13?
12.
12.
Yes, so, I got him! Let's go!
Let's go.
Yeah, more PJBT titles.
Now, I will say he doesn't look like he's 18.
No, he could be 18 if he played linebacker at Alabama.
He is built like a brick shithouse. If he had more muscle on him, oh, Jesus Christ. A little bit of fat. Just a little.
Could be a linebacker.
Oh, hell yeah. Easily.
No, he could be, it's not a tailback.
Fullback.
Fullback. That's what it is. Could be a fullback.
Fullback. Sure. Why not? Actually, I do think he once told me he did play high school football.
He probably played line.
So, our friend's name is Anthony Nyer. He comes from a bowling family. His father was a PBA titleist. His mother was a bowler. God rest her soul. His sister, she won the Pennsylvania State title. He finished second in the Pennsylvania State title. She was like all conference for I think 4 years at Delaware State. I think she went.
He won 2 gold medals in like Seoul or whatever.
Well, yeah, he's a 4-time member of Junior Team USA. I mean, just
there was a comment under like ESPN, not ESPN, Fox Sports or something. So who is this? Who is this? And he comments, Anthony going, I have this, won junior gold twice, did this, 2 gold medals, 4-time Junior Team USA, and the guy just goes, oh. He was like, oh.
oh.
Because there was a bunch of people like, who is this guy? He sucks. Like, yeah, he made the show at the U.S. Open. He sucks, all right.
Yep. So he qualified 3rd. He was 8th or 9th going into the final round of match play, and he had the second high block. So the last 8 games. So there was 24 games of qualifying, and then they cut the field to the top 32 or 36, one of the two. Then they bowled 8 more games and cut the field to the top 24, and then they had match play, 24 games of match play. So basically you bowl everybody once. And then the last game, it's position round. So first bowl, second, third bowls, fourth, fifth bowl, sixth, and on and on and on. So he qualified 3rd. He beat the gentleman that he beat in game 23. He had to face him again in game 24. Beat him both times. And then he had to face him on TV.
As Kona.
And he beat him. Now, you told me, surprisingly, that you haven't watched the show yet.
I knew the outcomes. I just didn't watch the show because, besides Anthony and Sterner, I don't really care for anybody else on that show.
Okay.
I don't want to watch Butt Rough. Chris Vi, yawn. Sterner, cool. I can't believe he actually made the Masters and the U.S. Open show. That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
That's a lot of games. That's almost 100 games of competition, not including practice.
In 2 weeks.
So he probably bowled close to 140 games, maybe, in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. So,
ow.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about Mr. Sterner. He's a friend of ours. He's helped out the PJBT before, and I'm sure he will again in the future. He wasn't that... Sorry, Jason. He wasn't that great of a professional until he got in shape. You will agree with me that his career has taken off since he's gotten in shape.
Yeah, he makes shows now.
A lot of shows.
Before he made, like, for 5 or 6 years, like 2.
Yes. and now he's making a lot more. There was one, it wasn't on TV. Who did he was the 5 seed, and he had to climb the ladder, and he bowled like
the wolf pattern, I think.
He bowled Belmonte, didn't he bowl? And he bowled
it was,
4 really good bowlers and beat them all.
The Illinois Open or whatever, where Wolf was on like the right lane and like Bear was on the left lane, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and he like 4 of the bowlers who were probably in the top 10 or top 12 in the world, and he beat them all. But anyway, let's look at a couple of Anthony's shots. The first one, I have no clue how it didn't go in the gutter. He was playing basically the 1 or 2 board. And these boards are approximately an inch in width. So they're not very long or, wide.
And when I saw the match play pattern or the round 4 pattern, whatever you want to call it, I immediately thought Anthony has a chance because the gutter was in play.
Mm-hmm.
They're also at the National Bowling Stadium where the gutter is always in play. I'm sorry, lefties, but you guys have that house.
Now, let's also say one thing before we show the video. Yes, all of Anthony's accomplishments that we've talked about have been great, but he has a better one.
He won the Phatts.
He won the Phatts-tacular. My tournament.
Yeah, because he was the only one that could get it off the gutter. He was the only one that could get it off the gutter.
Well, what does that tell you how good of a bowler he must be if he was the only one that could do it?
Yeah, because his rev rate's higher than every single person's in the tournament, and he actually threw reactive on the gutter. That just shows that really the gutter didn't hook.
So let's look at Anthony's first match, frames 3 and 4. Now, non-genetically proven son, do you see this live as I'm doing it, or do you see it as it's like the delay that's on it?
I see it.
Okay. So, you keep a running commentary on this, and you tell me that you don't think this, especially the first shot, is going in the gutter. And he did, in warm-up, throw 2 of them in the gutter. So.
Nice little messenger. Yeah, the good news for Anthony Nair.
Oh, by the way,
as Conan off to that quick start with 3 in a row.
I do like the nickname that they gave him.
The Ginger Assassin.
The Ginger Assassin. I love that nickname. That's an awesome nickname. That is awesome. All right. So, tell me that you don't think this is going in the gutter.
Road. And, anytime you're on television for the first time,
here we go.
You're always looking to find a way to
which is different because he was throwing the purple hammer most of the week.
I heard that.
And that's kind of a really good way to help.
I like the mullet he's got going.
He does need a haircut.
Lefty back on that right.
I've seen that shot.
Gravity was in a battle.
That was.
Let's show that again.
That probably should have been in the gutter.
Tell me how this doesn't go in the gutter.
Right?
Lefty back on that right. Oh my god.
Yeah, that should probably be in the gutter.
Gravity was in a battle and it lost just barely.
I like the shirt that
It
he's
was
wearing.
on the half board. If I could get the strike track numbers, it was real close to the half board.
Half board, let's go quarter board. Wow, he dropped 2 in the gutter during practice, Randy.
All right.
I mean, that is dancing with the devil.
Now this next one is close, but not quite out there.
Instead, it's a double and an early lead.
Right?
Isn't that crazy?
From catastrophe to a lead.
It was a half inch from being 0.
My goodness. Here he goes again. Fearless. And another strike for the teenager.
I think this is some of the fun.
The Ginger Assassin.
The second one wasn't nearly. That was like the line I would expect him to be playing. Out to like 2. Because he loves that spot. It's his favorite place. Like 3 to 2, 4 to 2. That first one, though, that was out on the quarter board.
Yeah. No clue how that... I mean, there's no oil on 1. If there's oil on 1, that's way in the gutter.
It's illegal to have oil on 1.
Right.
So.
Yes. So he wins the first match. He shoots like 236, I believe.
Okay.
And then he goes up against Jacob Buttroff, who, you know what, watching the tournament, he seems like a really cool guy. I don't know if they were allowed or not allowed to, smack hands, but he was at least doing it during the tournament. I didn't see anybody else doing it. Now, again, could be because of COVID. They weren't really supposed to, but he was. Seems like an all right guy. So now Jacob Buttroff is another lefty.
Just has a double jointed wrist.
Yes.
Really? Which is like the unfair advantage that he has. It's not unfair, it's completely legal.
Yes.
Completely legal.
Yes.
But he could create this rotation that you cannot create.
Right.
Like nobody, you can't replicate it even with two hands. You just can't do it.
Right. So, but we probably shouldn't show any of his shots because of the way it is.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to go watch Anthony's second match, I don't know if he tried to play a different line or not. I didn't think he was throwing the ball all that good in the second match. Let's go back to the first match for a second and look at his very last shot. And that's going to explain kind of how he threw the ball in the second match. Let me see here. All right. So let's go back to the video. Oh, it says it's going to play an ad in 5 seconds, of course.
Ugh.
So let me get through the ad first, and then we'll come over. Of course, the ad starts right as the ball hits the pins. So let's let the ad play through and then see if it'll not play through if I rewind it, or if it's going to play the ad again.
Tom said looked like to him that in the second match he wasn't getting it out like the
first. Exactly. I completely agree. It did. I don't know if he was trying not to, or not, but that
probably tells me he started to get nervous.
I don't know. You'd think he would have been more settled down. But here was his 10th frame, and people who have a trained eye for bowling, you could see the difference in this shot.
When Simonson won his first, who holds the record for youngest to win a title?
I've heard of this guy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Look at that slide to take out the tip.
It hooked really early. And that's how most of his shots were in match number 2. He struck a few times, and it looked like every time he struck, he got the ball out on the lane more. So
he was getting it up the lane a little bit.
Yeah, he was. Yes. Now, since Buttroff was throwing urethane, just like everybody else was, whether Anthony might have been a little afraid to play outside, because let's face it, urethane is not resin. Urethane is going to push the oil more, where resin will gobble it up more. So maybe he was afraid, because Buttroff was inside of Anthony.
I was going to say, I didn't see it, but I know Buttroff doesn't play straight up the gutter.
Right.
He likes the belly.
Correct. And he was inside of him by a board or two. So it's possible that Anthony was afraid to play 1-2 board because of the oil getting pushed out to there. It's potential. But something interesting did happen in match number 2. And let's take a look at it. Now, at this point, he was down by a lot. He was down by 50 pins or so.
Yeah.
So the match was, for all intents and purposes, over. This is frame 7. So, unless if Buttroff started to throw 2 or 3 opens in a row, the match was over. But then this happened.
So many processes to becoming a champion on this tour, and especially winning a major.
Down by 52.
I'll get to those processes right after this shot. See that ball breaking
that's
loose
not
early.
7-10. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I wouldn't
Sounds like
wanna
Joe
be that.
Biden.
That's not interesting.
That wasn't interesting. But he just said, I don't even know why I re-racked. But you see,
Right through the face
again, how
field, the
inside he
7-10,
was
the
compared to
7-10
where he
only been
normally
made on
was,
television
where he
times
played in the first game.
in the history
Right.
of professional bowling on
Is
TV.
that what he said? I don't know why I re-racked.
Come on, kid, do it.
And he makes it.
And then he makes it.
First in 40 years.
30 years.
30 years. Are you sure?
Yes. It was made
Or-
twice in 1991, interestingly.
Come on, kid, do it.
He got very lucky to make that. I saw how he made it. The pin bounced off the ball.
Off the ball. It did. Well, first off, you need to get a little lucky too.
But that's like the weird way to make it. Usually you trap the pin or it bounces off like the metal in the back. No,
Yes.
it bounced off the ball.
Yes. So, yes, he did something that the last time it was done on TV, he wasn't even close to being alive.
No.
Fourth
And they-
time. Go ahead.
The thing that sucks is not that long ago, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, they were giving out bonuses to someone who did that.
They were.
They were giving out like $100,000 bonus if you made a 710.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's already got his college paid for. We know this. Well, actually, he left McKendree. He was going to McKendree.
Mm-hmm.
He left. He's coming to University Park. Let's go, Penn State.
Probably can't be on the bowling team, though. He has his PBA card now. So I'm going to guess he can't be on the bowling team.
I don't know how those rules go since, A, we're a club team.
Mm-hmm.
He's sanctioned adult. As far as I know, to bowl college, that's all that you just need to be sanctioned. It doesn't matter. And you can make money because it's not NCAA, so there's no
Right.
problem with making money. I would have to look into logistics of, can you have a PBA card? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think he'd bowl either way. I don't think that's the peak of his interests to bowl on the Penn State club team.
Why not? That could be the highlight of his career.
I mean, if he bowled, that means I would probably bowl. I'd just be the leadoff bowler.
Potentially. You certainly wouldn't be anchor.
No, we'd have 3 possible 200-plus averages for college, and we could have a couple 180s. We'd be a decent team.
That would be a pretty good college team. Yes.
Because he could probably be in the 220s for college, just about.
Yes. Yes. Now, it would be interesting to see him throw those patterns because, again, for those of you that don't know bowling, the oil patterns that they put out of college tournament have a lot more oil on the lanes than these patterns that they throw at a professional tournament. A lot more.
College patterns are designed, the gutter plays on 80% of them. So I feel like his bag would be urethane, 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 urethane. Yeah.
My guess is he will not be bowling. I don't think he would get up for it enough.
No.
I mean, he got his PBA card on a Wednesday, and he won a regional on Saturday. So
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get up for much more than PBA events anymore.
yes, at his first tournament as a PBA member, he won. And then he apparently packed up his truck and drove out to Reno to bowl in the Masters and the U.S. Open.
He drove to Reno.
That's what they said on TV. He drove. He was on the Today Show the morning after, and he was on some international highlight show he made. So,
and he wasn't number 1 on ESPN Top 10.
From what I was told, it was number 3.
I have no idea how that could be number 3, because I bet you once I see it and I can prove that it's number 3, if it is, I swear to God, a number 1 is like a dunk. We get dunks every week.
Every
The
day.
710 hasn't been made in 30 years on TV. There is no reason that shouldn't be number 1. That should be number 1 of the month when they do their top 10 of the month. I think that could even be number 1 for the year. That's got to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have plays like that.
Well, again, hasn't happened on TV in 30 years.
Yeah. That's got to be like number one of the year. If not two or I could see it maybe not number one as the year because a lot of good plays in the year.
Yes.
It could be a top 5 in the year.
Sure. Absolutely. It probably should be. But yeah, happened. Mark Roth was the first to do it in the 70s or the 80s. I forget exactly what year it was.
In the 70s, I believe.
And then,
74?
And then it happened twice in 1991. John
Stayra and
Mazza, I believe, was the other one.
Yes.
And then it went 30 years until it happened again. And Anthony Nair, 18 years old, first tournament, professional PBA tournament on TV, makes it. He's been on TV before. U15, U18 junior gold, or U15, U20 junior gold. He was on TV. He's been on TV when he was over in Asia, at least on the internet, on YouTube, live. So, congratulations, Anthony. For those of you that don't know his name, you will hear it very often in the upcoming years if you follow bowling. I did have a friend of mine on Facebook comment. She works up at Valley Lanes, up in Childs, where I grew up. He won a tournament up there as well.
He only lives from my location like an hour.
If that, yeah.
Yeah.
So then there was another quasi-sporting event, and this will be the last thing that we talk about tonight.
Cricket.
No, that's a sporting event. Yeah. Transgender synchronized swimming. It was not
I don't think there's an advantage being a man or a woman in that one.
It was not transgender synchronized swimming. Wrestlemania was this past weekend. And now we watch our viewership go down.
Gonna have to take a yawn to that one.
It, on the scale of 1 to 10, it probably checked in at about a 5.5, I would say.
All I know is your predictions went...
As usual.
Your predictions sucked.
I got some of them right.
I thought you got the obvious ones, like the ones that you thought were going to be obvious went the other way.
Well, on Saturday, the heavyweight championship I got right.
Who was it?
What's his name beat, what's his name?
Thanks. Roman Reigns or something?
No, that was Sunday.
Oh, Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, beat, what's his name?
The big heavy dude from NXT.
No.
Right?
No.
I don't know who he beat. Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, but we thought that one was kind of a given.
No, you didn't. I said Lashley was going to win it because he hasn't had the title very long, and they're giving him a push.
Yeah, that's why I said you thought it was a given, basically.
I had the Cesaro match right over Seth Rollins.
You got the women's tag team one all wrong.
Yeah, that would have been my last pick. I was hoping that the Riot Squad would win. They finished second, though.
Your girl that you said never gets a push, Tamina.
They ended up winning, and then they ended up losing Sunday for the championship, which I said Baszler and Nia Jax would lose the championship, but I didn't think they were going to fight who they ended up fighting.
And what's her face?
Yes. What were some of the other matches? The new tag team champions, AJ Styles and Amos or whatever his name is, over New Day.
That's another one you said that wasn't going to happen.
Because I don't know how, I don't know. This guy's like 12 foot 6 inch tall. I mean, I don't even know, Daniel non-genetically proven said, if you could pole vault over this guy. He's a big dude.
Bianca Belair match.
I got that match right.
You did get that one right.
That, of all the matches, that was probably the best match of both nights. I would say.
Bad Bunny and Damian Priest won.
I got that right. That was easy.
The guest person always wins.
Yeah, I think I went took a bowel movement during that match. I know I didn't watch that match. I did something during that match. I have no idea.
Strowman beat McMahon.
Yes. Now, we had both predicted McMahon would win that match.
Because he would... Strowman would throw him through the cage. He pulled him through the cage. He opened the cage and pulled him through it.
He did. When he tried to get out, he, like, ripped open the cage and pulled him back into the cage. So, you know, we'll give ourselves half credit on that. He just took him the wrong way. Was there any other match? There was 7 matches, I think, both nights.
Lastly the last match? Yeah.
No, that was the first match.
Oh, okay. Well, I went through them all. Yeah, that's all of them.
All right.
All right. So night 2.
You had Randy Orton versus The Fiend was the opening match, and stupid is the only thing you could say for that. Randy Orton beat The Fiend because The Fiend was distracted by Alexa Bliss, who she came out with this like big Jack in the Box thing.
I just saw her face was like black.
Well, yeah, and she didn't look like that at the beginning. Like, she was dressed differently, her hair was differently, and there was this big like Jack in the Box, and you could see her trying to turn this thing, and she just had to like crank down and then put her hands underneath and crank up, and that got the Fiend to come up out of the box. All right, big deal.
Yeah.
So then they had the match, and at one point somehow, of course you didn't see because the cameras were on it, Alexa Bliss's character got back. She got on top of the box, and then all of a sudden all this black crap came up all over her face. It was really stupid. The match was dumb, and then Randy Orton did his finishing move on The Fiend, and the match was over. It was stupid.
This got on whatever rating this is, it got a 1 star out of 5.
Yeah.
It said it was just a preposterous Randy Orton burned The Fiend to a crisp, and that accumulated with a wrestling match where they actually just hit normal wrestling moves. If The Fiend can literally defy the laws of life and death, why do we care if he got hit with a DDT? How could an RKO possibly keep him down? It's stupid.
Exactly. So it was dumb.
It's a story that has boring wrestling.
All right. So what was next?
The Nia Jax match.
Okay, and Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler wound up winning. Shayna Baszler put her Kimura clutch or whatever finishing move she uses on not Tamina, on Natalya to win.
Because Tamina was in the ring most of the match.
She was.
And wasn't very good.
No.
But well laid out bright spots like Baszler's awesome knee with a cool finish.
Oh, yeah.
The babyface passes out, finish is overdone.
Yes. All right.
Then what match is this? The Sami Zayn match?
Oh, yeah. All right.
Sami Zayn. It said it was a good match.
I got that one right.
Wow, it just says rating 4 stars. Super good.
It was the typical Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match. They're both from Canada. They both broke into the business together. They faced each other about 6,412 times. I would hope they would have good matches against each other. They were in NXT together. They've gone up through the WWE together. They've faced each other at it's like, oh, it's Kevin Owens versus what's his name again.
Sami Zayn looks homeless though.
He does. He does. But yeah, it was an alright match. It was an alright match. Was Big E the next match?
Nope. Your big boy, bro, Matt Riddle.
Oh, I got this one wrong.
You picked Riddle to win.
Yes.
And Sheamus won.
Sheamus ended up winning, and Sheamus may have broken Matt Riddle's face.
With a kick? With a bro kick or whatever?
Yes. Matt Riddle was bleeding pretty... Whether or not he had a blood capsule in his mouth, who knows?
Was it the one that he did during a backflip?
Yes.
Oh, that looked nasty.
I mean, Riddle had, like, blood pouring from his mouth. It looked like they showed it in slow-mo. It looked like he really tagged him pretty good. And, yeah, you didn't see any teeth flying, which you've seen before on other wrestlers. But, yeah, that looked like it hurt. So, I got that match wrong. Then the Big E match was next.
Yeah, Apollo Crews and
and some drum match or whatever it was.
Yeah, the drum match.
And I got this one wrong as well. Apollo Crews ended up beating Big E.
Apparently, the Nigerian drum match stipulation was hard to take seriously.
It was.
What was it?
I don't know. If you remember my predictions from Thursday night, I said there was a lot of matches on Sunday I really didn't care about.
You just want to take a poo during that?
Yeah, if I had diarrhea, I would take one during this match, and then this match, and then this match. This was one. There was some devastating moves that looked like may have hurt a little, but
this one had a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
So,
and then I believe Asuka and Rhea Ripley was next.
Yep.
And I got that one right.
Right.
Because I did say they weren't going to have Rhea Ripley come up and then lose.
Although
I did say she would win the last time she came up and faced Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. The ratings said the crowd was flat for this. That makes sense based on the prior few matches.
Yes. Well, plus there was only, about 13 people in the crowd.
It said they woke up for the finish, which is hard to get into.
Yeah. And then you had the main event, which was Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge.
Right.
That match, it lasted a long time, like 35, 40 minutes. And Roman Reigns was the winner, but Roman Reigns did not win the match. The write-up that you're reading, do they even say Edge wins the match? Or not?
Roman Reigns retains. I have to read the whole thing. Jey Uso was involved.
Yes, twice.
Edge looked great throughout the match, despite being he's 48?
Yep. Yeah, he's my age.
Jeez.
Yep. And he looks every bit of 48.
Yeah. He snapped at some point.
Yeah.
And all three ended up outside. There was a great sequence that
just get...
Does
the write-up say Edge won the match or not?
No.
All right, so I'm going to tell you why. Roman Reigns was declared the winner of the match. But this is why Edge actually won the match, and I think they're just setting up a future match between the two.
Oh, I know. Because the way they were pinned.
Yes. So, basically, Roman Reigns was basically out. And that's when Edge snapped, and he basically tried to break their necks and stuff and whatever. And Roman Reigns eventually got back up, and he speared Edge, and then he did something to try to break their necks as well. And then Daniel Bryan was face up on the mat, knocked out, and Roman Reigns takes Edge, and he throws him across Daniel Bryan.
1, 2, 3.
Throws him across Daniel Bryan with his face was facing upward. His shoulders were on the mat as well, and then he laid down and covered the two of them at the same time. But there was a good 2 seconds or so that went by from the time that he laid Edge on Daniel Bryan that he then covered the two of them. The ref, as soon as Edge was laid on Daniel Bryan, should have started counting. Edge is actually the winner of this match, and I'm betting they did that on purposely to set up something in the future that just Edge faces Roman Reigns and then Edge will beat him.
And then have the title till like Money in the Bank and then lose it.
Right. If they don't do that, then this is the dumbest ending to a WrestleMania match ever because it should have never, they dropped the ball doing this because you can't end a match like that. Because you just declared the wrong wrestler the winner.
Which has happened before.
Well, yeah, it does, but there's always storylines as to why. That's why I'm thinking this is a storyline.
Okay, but the other time was just a bad call. When Roman Reigns and what's-his-face faced in the steel cage.
Well, yeah, but did his feet really hit the floor because they were still on the cage?
Yeah, so Roman Reigns won.
Yeah.
But they said that was the whole thing.
Yes. So anyway, it's 8 o'clock. I want to go watch NXT anyway, so.
Wow, we actually talked for an hour? That's impressive.
So, show's over.
Show's over.
Show's over. Anything on the comments? No, you guys suck.
Jeez.
You guys suck. I need a new audience because this audience doesn't comment. I'm very disappointed.
This audience doesn't comment.
This audience, these all suck. Have a good evening. See you Thursday.